Hello and welcome to Do It Yourself DIY, a half-hour program where we embark on interesting DIY projects. My name is Chinenye Ozo. On today's show, we'll be embarking on two very interesting projects, and the person that will be showing us these projects is someone we have met on the show before. The last time we met her, she showed us how to turn an empty paint bucket into a makeshift stool and a storage bin. Today she's going to show us how to revamp two t-shirts. So let's delve right in and get to see this project.
So our next project is also has to do with a t-shirt. Now, we're just going to create small vents at the top of the shirt. It helps in hot weather and just to make your shirt look nice. Especially if you have an old shirt that you really don't want to let go of or you want to give someone to, but you realize that it doesn't look so nice anymore. You can always beautify it by adding vents. So what you will need for this project is a ruler, a pair of scissors, stones, any kind of stones. So here I'm using large stones for it, just so the glitters will pop. And chalk. Some people prefer using pencils. You can use that. Oh yes, you also need either thread or a piece of yarn. So now I'm going to use this yarn. It has glitters on it, so I figured that it would be nice on this black shirt. Glitters always look nice on everything. So let's begin. So I'm basically going to measure how wide I want my vents to be. Here, the length that I want and the width I want is just exactly the length of the ruler. So I'm just going to mark around the ruler with my chalk. And please, when you're doing this, make sure the shirt that you are using is stretchy. If not, it won't have the same effect that you want it to have. So, now I'm basically going to mark how wide I want the space from one vent to the other to be. Okay. I'm picking 1.5 inches. Alright, so I'm going to split this into half so I know exactly what I'm cutting through. It doesn't have to be half, it really depends on what you want. So from here, what I'm cutting out is going to be in the shape of a greater than or less than sign. So I'm going to mark exactly that. Let me not forget to add that it's not necessary, it's not a must for the lines to be equal. It depends on the effect that you want to give the shirt. So if you want it to be equal, you definitely have to measure. I'm measuring 2 inches. 2 inches between each line. And if you're doing that, you should follow the same pattern. Unless you want to have another effect, which is fine. You're allowed to do whatever you want. It's your shirt, it's DIY. Just as long as it comes out nice. Right. So here we have the markings, hopefully accurate enough. And I'm just going to snip through. Before you cut, fold through the line that you drew in between both lines. There are 3 straight lines here. Fold through one of them. To make it easier for you, you could just iron it. So here's the fold. After folding, you can start cutting. Now note that the lines are not straight, but they are slanted for the effect that I'm trying to give the shirt. So I'm going to cut through the slanted lines. So here we have it. One thing you could do is, you could actually wear the shirt like this, but that's not what I'm going to do today. So now notice that you have your spaces. You could either fold them inside or outside, depending on the kind of ribbon you're trying to do. The folds I'm doing are bits, but I'm just going to tie this piece of yarn on each vent. But before I cut, to avoid wasting fabric, you should probably just, rather than cut the thread, tie it first. Okay, so one thing you should notice is you can either have the thread hanging down on each part, or you can cut it off. If you're cutting it off, you would need to do it the other way around. So let me just show you what it looks like if you're doing it the other way around. You're going to turn the shirt inside out. As you can see, it's already forming a nice looking pattern. So you can leave it at this stage if you want to. It really depends on you. So let me pull this. Remember I said elastic always folds inside. So when you pull, the threads at the edge don't show. Alright, so here we go. Now since the yarn that I use is sparkly and not just basic yarn, we can leave it. If this was the outside of the shirt, it would have looked nice if I left it, you know, because it looks like a pretty little top that was not DIY'd. So I'm going to turn it inside out and see what the outside looks like. If there's anything we need to change, it's always easy to fix. So we're going to snip off the yarn because it's inside. If the yarn was outside, we could have just left it. If the hanging part of the yarn was outside, we could have just left it. But we're going to snip it off. Okay, so the glitters on the yarn don't exactly shout. They're just there and very, very subtle. So you can still put the stones. If you are using normal thread, it would be nice to put the stones right on top of each tie so that it has a nice feel. So I think I should just demonstrate that. But first, let me go see if it's okay. Okay, so basically, we only need 5 stones, so I'll just return the rest. The stones can be anywhere else apart from on top of the ties. It depends on you. In fact, the ties themselves can be at the side of the shirt, at the bottom. It's always nice at the bottom, or at the sleeve. It depends on you. Just be creative. Use your creative mind. Yeah. So I'm going to get my glue gun. I'm going to use a glue gun because it might be hard for the glue from the stones themselves to sit on this because it's a rough edge. So I'm just going to use a glue gun. Carefully apply the glue either on the stone or on the shirt itself. One thing is you have to be careful not to stain your shirt with the glue gun. You can easily remove it, but I mean, it's better to prevent staining your shirt than having to remove it. Because if you're using a linen fabric, to remove it might be some kind of war. To remove the spilled glue might be war. You just decide not to go off. Okay, so here we have a nice stoned and vented shirt. Don't forget, you can do whatever it is that you want. You can put the stones elsewhere. You can scatter the stones all around to give it a nice girly look. You can leave the stones like this. In fact, it doesn't have to be stone. It just depends on what you want. All right. Now, the final part, which is this part. Since we cut the vent in a V shape, there's this sticking out. You might not want it to stick out. You might. It really depends on you. But you can get creative with it. You can find something to use to either tack it down or use another stone to stone it down, or a bead, anything. So I'm going to use a stone. So glue it down first before you put the stone. Why is this happening? There you go. Pretty. Not the old shirt it once was.
Simple project that has more details like embellishments, trying to make it look more sparkly. You can try it at home if you want. It's very simple to do. So maybe later on you can try it out. And now it's time for us to take a look at the second project.
For this project, I'm going to be refurbishing a t-shirt, a stretchy t-shirt. So for this, all you need is a shirt, a pair of scissors, and possibly chalk, depending on if you're able to use your discretion to measure. Here's the shirt. I'm going to be making a cold shoulder top out of this. So the first step for this is get your scissors and cut the lower hem, the bottom of the shirt. Just cut it off completely. You can actually rip it, but it's better to be careful and cut it so that you don't make any mistakes. The good thing about stretchy t-shirts is that when you cut, you don't need to hem because the bottom just curls right back once you pull it. It curls back and it won't show that it was cut into pieces at all. Right. So the next step is the sleeve. Now all you need to do is make sure the shirt is aligned properly. And then cut at the shoulder right before the sleeve starts. So the depth of your cutting depends on how much of your shoulder you want to be exposed. So I'm just going to cut a little bit. You don't necessarily need so much, but it really all depends on you. So I cut here. So it's important that you know how much you have cut off so that you don't have two unequal sleeves. So you can either measure or just put them together to see if you've cut the same on each side. And yes, they're both equal. So from here, you're going to snip off a little from the fabric, from the hem that you cut off. This is basically just going to be something to use to tie this up, because it's going to give it like a ribbony, ruffly effect. So get the sleeve, find out how much ruffle you want it to have. So you could just gather it with your fingers like this, and then tie this around it. Cool thing about elastic is once you have tied it really tight, it might not come off in the next 2 years. Really depends on how you use the shirt, but normally it won't come off just like that. So here's the first sleeve, and we'll proceed to the next sleeve. Basically the same thing you're doing on both sleeves. So you can either tack this part down, the part that is tied, you can tack it to the shirts, or you can leave it, or you can cut it off. If by the time you are done, you realize that you want the vent in the shirt, these slits are called vents. If you want the vent in the shirt to be wider, you can either pull it apart carefully so that you don't rip the shirt, or you can just use scissors and cut deeper. So now it's important for you to pull the edges of the shirt so that this fibers don't show outside, so it's not exposed outside. So once you pull it, it just curls either inside or outside. Either is fine. Oops. All right. So here you have a cold shoulder top. You can do anything you want to do to the bottom based on the knowledge you have from the sleeves and the knowledge you have of what happens to elastic or anything stretchy after you cut it. The end.
If you want your cold shoulder to be a bit more open than this, you can easily just rip it or use scissors to be on the safe side. Scissors will be better. Just cut it a bit more open.
There you have it, a revamped t-shirt. You don't need so much to embark on the project. All you need are some very simple tools and you're on your way. It's still DIY, and now we'll take a short break, and when we return, it will be more on the show. DIY is a program, a half-hour program, where we'll be bringing you all the interesting DIY projects.
Hi, my name is Ire Toluhi. I'm a singer-songwriter and a fashion designer in training. Been making a storage bin or a stool, a cushioned stool, out of an old paint bucket. Basically, the finished product is going to look like this.
DIY tools and tips for the day. DIY, showing at these times on NTA. That's it on our DIY project for today. Moving on the show, we bring you our tools and tips for the day. Enjoy. Our DIY tool for the day is the potting knife. A potting knife is a specialized tool used when glazing single glazed windows to work putty around the edges of each pane of glass. It is also known as a scraper. It is useful for a variety of jobs. You can use it to apply and smooth down wood putty or spackle, scrape off peeling paint or wallpaper, or remove caulk around a tub or a window. The narrow blade is also useful for prying open a can of putty before applying it. Afterward, you can use the handle end to bang the lid closed again. The best potting knives have blades of flexible stainless steel, which is easy to clean and won't rust. The handle should be comfortable and long enough to give you sufficient leverage. Your potting knife can help you with all kinds of jobs instead of turning them over to contractors. You can use it to repair walls or mud the gaps in freshly installed drywall, a pricey job to have done professionally. A potting knife is also necessary for reglazing windows. Now the tip for the day. Dripping tap quick fix. Cut a piece of dental floss and wrap one end around the dripping faucet. Then lay the rest into the drain. The drips will adhere to the floss and you'll be able to get some peace and quiet until a more permanent repair can be made. And that's it on today's show. I hope you enjoyed watching. Next time you think of discarding some old t-shirts, why not just revamp them a bit so that you can enjoy them for much longer. So from me, Chinenye Ozo, it's goodbye and see you next time.